And keep your masks on and social distance if you could. In fact, I'm going to put my mask back on. And so Juror 120, please remain behind. The other two, follow the deputy, please. And Juror 120, if you could come up here. Have a seat right there. Well, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
And you are Juror 120. All right. First thing I'm going to do is swear you in because all your answers have to be under oath. So if you could raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that you will truthfully answer all questions about your qualifications to serve as a juror?
I do.
All right. Thank you. Now you have plexiglass in front of you, and we have it between us, and also there's plexiglass in front of the lawyers who are a fair distance from you. My point being, you can remove your mask if you think it would be more comfortable or if you need it to be heard more clearly. So I'm pretty much going to leave that to you. In any case, I would ask that you're probably perfect on the microphone right there, and speak so that we can hear you clearly. Also try and avoid talking over other people. For example, you know what the question is going to be, and so you kind of finish it. Try and wait till each person is done because the court reporter is making a record. And we have to make sure we don't talk over each other. So that would be greatly appreciated. A couple questions before I turn it over to the attorneys. First of all, you filled out the questionnaire. Thank you for doing that. Lots of good information in it. Is everything true on the questionnaire?
I believe so.
Okay. Broad general question. You'll find that the attorneys will zero in on certain questions, certainly more than I do. And they will usually read the question and your answers. Not to be confrontational, but just to remind you what exactly it is you wrote. You didn't keep a copy of your questionnaire, did you?
Yes.
You did? Oh, you're the third person. So we've had 3 people do that.
Was I not supposed to?
No, you absolutely could. Usually it was
the mail was a little
iffy.
Well, so I wanted to make sure if I didn't have to fill it out again.
Okay. Yeah, but you are the third juror. Everybody else, nobody kept a copy. So all the lawyers do, just because that's how we're trained. So
I'm married to one, so.
Okay. Did you have a chance to review it before you came here?
No.
Okay, good. You may find, since it's been a few months, that things have changed. Maybe there's something you could have added, something like that. Or maybe your opinions have just changed. But in any case, I want you to feel comfortable giving an answer that is different from what's in the questionnaire, okay? That's my main point there. You weren't supposed to read any articles and to avoid media that would be covering this case. Have you been able to do that generally?
Yes, until I saw the headline about the juror selection.
Okay. And you anticipated my next question. I think just about everybody, since it was a few months ago, and the coverage is so prevalent on this case, most jurors have said that they've been exposed inadvertently to a headline or a news blurb about the case. And so what do you remember hearing about the case since you filled out the questionnaire? Or related cases or pretrial matters or anything like that?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Sure.
I understand when the defendant was arrested, I knew that there was going to be a case. Is that what you're saying? Because I did hear that.
No, because you pretty much told us what you knew about the case.
Yep.
And everybody who's come in here knows.
Or you're saying, what have I heard since then?
Since you filled out the questionnaire.
Nothing, because I've been trying really good to
Excellent.
avoid that. Like I said, the only thing I saw was when they were talking about jury selection that the headline was you were looking for a 14th and 15th juror.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I thought we were
going
to stop at 14 or whatever. So.
Okay. Other than that, did you recall reading anything about any related civil cases or the pretrial matters involved here? Anything like that?
The Minneapolis settlement.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you recall? And I think just about everybody.
That there was an amount that was done.
Okay. Do you recall the amount?
$27 million.
Okay. How would that affect you sitting on this case?
I don't think it would. I mean,
Okay. And that's a good answer. If that's true, yeah, that's fine. We asked you the question, it's question number 10 on part 1, whether you could be fair and impartial. It's a little more wordy than that, but basically, could you be fair and impartial? And you said possibly, never have been in this situation before, would do my best though. And the lawyers and I are probably going to press you a little harder on that. But let's start there. You said possibly, never been in the situation. So what I take from that is you're saying, I don't know what I don't know. Is that kind of right?
Yes, to a degree, it's you're making a decision on someone's life,
Right.
you know. But two, you mentioned earlier that it was going to be that the defendant is being charged with second-degree murder and
Okay.
second-degree manslaughter.
Correct.
I have, in honesty, to try to preserve my integrity, I did not look up what the definition of those
Good.
were. So, to the fact of deciding someone's fate and not knowing what really those charges are, I don't know if I could do that because
Okay.
I don't know what those charges are.
Well, and the good news is you don't have to know that because that's the law that I give you. The law at the end of the case usually is a set of instructions which includes a list of what it is the state has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. And the jury decides, has the state proven it or have they not? All the while presuming the defendant innocent. And so if at this point, if you had to, are you hoping for one verdict or another, or do you feel you're kind of neutral because of where you're at?
I don't think I'm neutral
Okay.
on that.
Where are you on the spectrum? Where does the needle point to?
I would say guilty.
Okay.
And the fact is, since the case has happened, this is the analogy that I've been worked with.
Okay.
That, do you have any brothers?
I do.
You do. So you're tussling with your brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
If one of your brothers says, I give up, etc., you stop, right?
Mhm.
And if you don't, something happens, you're standing before your parents, and they're said, what did you do? What happened? This is what happened to Tommy. Tommy said, stop. Why didn't you stop? That's what I feel, is that at some point, if you've had siblings that siblings or friends, you wrestle, tussle or whatever, but there's a line of where you have to stop
Okay.
when someone says no more.
Okay.
So
There are a variety of contested issues in this case, but do you think that ultimately that's always going to be there and you don't really feel you can fairly and impartially, given your life experience?
yes, I think that analogy has always stuck with me.
Well, as the
So
little brother to 3 older brothers, I know exactly what you're talking about. So I'm going to release you from this jury because obviously if your background and such and what you know about the case puts you on the not fair or not impartial. Most people would try and be fair. But if you can't be impartial, we understand. And I'm going to release you from this jury. So,
thank you.
all right. And you don't have to worry about being called up on other juries because your jury service is done. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.